This should be actually a pretty quick video that talks about social hygiene. I've been getting a lot of pushback regarding social hygiene and kind of my stance on social hygiene. So I'm going to explain that. I'm going to explain why social hygiene is important, at least to me, and what that means. So I have Parler up, and there's an opportunity. So when we explain the differences between social media platforms, I'm going to start off with Facebook, right? So let's assume that I set up a Facebook account. I have the opportunity through that account to have 5,000 connections, right? And those connections I can have a two-way communication with, and it's pretty straightforward. It's back and forth, but again, I'm limited to that 5,000 connections. Now I can create a page on Facebook, or I could create a group if I wanted to have further interaction with more people, and that can be task oriented in order to gain buy-in and push and do all of these other things. So there's limits with Facebook when it comes to social interaction. Now let's move on, and I'm just going to talk about a few of them, right? Because Instagram does have a lot of opportunities that just aren't taken advantage of, but let's move on to YouTube. So YouTube gives me the opportunity to get a lot of people to watch videos and like videos and comment and interact. But there's a little less personal touch. So as comments are made, there's filtering, there's all of these other things. And YouTube is a great avenue for certain aspects of what you're trying to accomplish on social media. And then let's move on to Twitter, right? So if you look at, and to backtrack, I think I still have 10 more days of Facebook suspension that is happening based on limits of speech or limits of what people say. And then YouTube, obviously there's an opportunity where, free speech is limited as well. And then let's move on to Twitter, right? So when you look at Twitter, and I'm on a permanent ban from Twitter. I think as soon as I mention anything, somehow it backtracks to me, and permanent ban. So I do have kind of a Twitter account that I don't really do anything with other than read. But you find yourself in an atmosphere where on Twitter you end up seeing a lot of what I call bad social hygiene. Okay, and I'm going to show you this on Parler because Twitter, the problem with Twitter and the reason why people don't like Twitter is it gives people an opportunity to talk at other people without ever talking to other people. So there's no interaction, and you'll see a lot of people. I'm going to show you on Parler what I mean, and explain this, right? So it's not from a standpoint of not liking somebody. Okay, and in the example I'm going to give, I actually like this person. And I like what they have to say, but because they don't interact, because they're using bad social hygiene, I'm going through and I'm actually limiting my exposure to them because they're in a position where they have an opportunity that they're failing that commitment or that opportunity or that goal or whatever you want to call it. All right. So Twitter, they're always talking at you. And what you can see, so I'm going to use, and again, it's not because I don't like Matt Gates. All right. You can see I'm following Matt Gates. All right. So here's Matt Gates, and bad social hygiene is he's following 68 people. So he only cares about what 68 people have to say, and he has 104,000 people following him. Okay. So, and again, this is nothing against him personally. Okay. I think he does a lot of great things. However, from a social standpoint, he's actually not social. Right. So if you post something on Matt Gates, he has 6 comments and he has 7 votes and he has 68 people that he's following. And we can actually, kind of see a trend. Okay. So part of me being me and me being an independent and not really buying into either side is the fact that I feel, right? This is just me and my feelings. My feelings are that when you elect somebody to an office, they need to keep their ear to the ground. right? And they need to understand what people are saying and what people care about. And they need to take that into consideration to be better at their job. Okay. And again, Matt Gaetz and Devin Nunes and Ted Cruz and all of these other people, what you see in a trend is, I'm just going to tell you, right? And when I look at bad social hygiene, it's hey, this is me. Okay. So the difference, if you look at how I interact on Parler and an opportunity that I think is a tremendous opportunity for people on Parler, regardless of their views, it gives them an opportunity to create continuous thought process. Now, if you're following somebody who is always talking at you, well, they're just telling you how you should feel, okay? Which is bullshit, okay? Because nobody should be telling me how I feel. They should be convincing me, right? They should be creating interaction and communication and listening, right? So I listen. I watch my feeds. And I look at the common person, because the common person is what is important to me. The common person is the person who is walking through different footsteps in life and may have different opinions based on life experiences that I have that maybe I don't necessarily appreciate now, but I need to. And I need to because I didn't walk that path. I didn't walk in those shoes. So in order for me to grow as a person, I need to care, because that's the humanity aspect. Okay. So again, I'm not picking on Matt Gaetz. All right. I promise I'm not. But what I tend to see when I look at bad social hygiene, it's the me, my, I philosophy. Okay. So if I look at an hour ago, Matt Gaetz said, move over, Joe Exotic. Here's an article that I think you should watch of me. Okay. If I look at the next one, it's here's me. Okay. Here's another one. Here's me. Tonight I'll be on Fox Report and John Scott to blah, blah, blah. That's great. Okay. That's great. I understand that aspect of why people do that. But at the same time, there also needs to be a separate aspect of what they're doing, which causes or allows them to listen to other people. All right, back after it. So going back a little bit, putting their ear to the pavement, ear to the ground, and listening, right? Because there are people, using Matt as an example, in Florida, who support him and love him for his actions, but unless he's listening to them and not waiting until he gets to the poll, the problem with legislators, and it's not that I'm anti-legislator, okay, but the people who should be listening the most are listening the least. And I could go back to, using Matt, I could go back to AOC, or I could go back to Ilhan Omar or any of these people. They're missing an opportunity. Okay, so when we go back to good good social hygiene versus poor social hygiene, it goes back to just brass tacks of, are you listening to the people who elected you into that position or caused your success? Because it isn't necessarily just government people. It's not just elected officials. There's a whole gambit, right? If I write a book and I want you to read my book, well, I need to show care, cause, care, and compassion, right? The 3 C's, cause, care, and compassion, for you in order to help you understand how whatever I wrote a book about may benefit you. That isn't happening, okay? So anyways, what I've been doing today is I've been going through and literally just unfollowing these people, because, the nice part about it, right? So if I go into, I don't know, let's see, Ted Cruz. Again, I like Ted Cruz, okay? But if I look at Ted Cruz, here's another example. And it's not a right-wing, left-wing thing. He's made one comment, 0 votes. He's following 12 people, and he has 735,000 followers. That's a failure. It's an absolute failure. It just is. Because nobody can stand up here and say, hey, I'm doing the work of the people, when you're not even paying attention to the people who elected you. All right. Now I'm going to get off my soapbox, right? Because again, and I want to make this the most important aspect, as much as I like as much as I like Ted Cruz, I'm going to see him in my feed anyways, because the people that I do care about are going to show me articles of his, or Fox, or Breitbart, or whoever your thing is. Okay, they're going to show me articles, and then I'm going to read those articles through those. But I'm just not in a position at this point where I'm going to just follow somebody, like, blind leading the blind, and just get talked to. Right? Nobody really appreciates that. You want people to listen to you. I'm here to listen to you. I follow people back. I read your stuff. If that's your thing, let's do it together. Let's build up a solid social media network. Parler is a great platform for that. And let's get back to the brass tacks, where we start caring about people and we start realizing that everything that comes out of our mouth isn't necessarily right. We need to start having communication with people who don't necessarily agree with us, so that we can find common ground and progress all of our initiatives together. Okay? Hit the subscribe button. Need more subscribers. We're building subscribers. We're getting lots of views. But this is a new channel. So, YouTube, they took down the last one. Hopefully they won't take down this one, and we'll be able to build up a few tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. Or maybe everybody just thinks I'm off my rocker at this point. I don't know, but it seems kind of simple to me. Anyways, we'll catch you on the next one, and I'm happy to have you here.